Part 1. The Sensory Mundane. It's 3:47. The only sound is the low, rhythmic hum of the server racks in the secure bunker, a constant, almost sentient thrum beneath the Capitol. The stale coffee in your mug is cold, a forgotten ritual from hours ago. You trace the intricate, ever-shifting lines of projected global commodity prices on the vast holographic display, a mesmerizing, terrifying spiderweb of red and green. Each flicker represents billions, lives, the very future of your nation. The weight of it all presses down, a physical burden that has become a constant companion. You are the Minister of Economy. You are at war. Sleep is a luxury you can no longer afford, a weakness you cannot indulge. The city above sleeps, oblivious to the silent battles fought in this subterranean chamber, battles that determine if they will wake to a nation or a ruin. The air is thick with the metallic tang of ozone and the faint scent of fear. Part 2. The Call. The secure line rings, a sharp, intrusive sound that cuts through the silence like a knife. It's the Prime Minister, his voice tight, strained, devoid of its usual political cadence. "They've broken through, Minister, deeper than anticipated. The Northern Front is collapsing." The words hit you like a physical blow. The cost projections for the next quarter, already astronomical, have just doubled, then tripled. Your primary oil supply route, a vital artery for both military and civilian life, is not just compromised, it's severed, confirmed by satellite intel. The national currency, the solari, already fragile from months of relentless conflict, is plummeting on international markets, threatening a full-blown currency crisis. Dr. Anya Sharma, your chief economic advisor, a woman whose calm demeanor usually belies a razor-sharp mind, looks at you with a grim expression that speaks volumes. This isn't just a military conflict, it's an economic war, a battle for solvency, for the very soul of your nation, and you are on the front lines, the first and last defense against total collapse. The fate of millions rests on your next decision. Part 3. Discovery of Rot. You dive into the data, a maelstrom of spreadsheets, intelligence reports, and real-time market feeds. The inflation rate is not just spiking, it's hyperinflating, threatening to ignite widespread social unrest as basic necessities become unattainable luxuries. Sovereign debt has ballooned to an unsustainable level, pushing your nation towards a debt-to-GDP death spiral. International lenders, once allies, now demand punitive interest rates or outright refuse new loans, citing unacceptable risk profiles. Your foreign reserves are dwindling at an alarming pace, drained by emergency military procurements and the desperate need to import food, medicine, and critical industrial components. The supply chain for essential goods is not just fractured, it's shattered, leading to critical shortages in hospitals, empty supermarket shelves, and idle factories. You see the cracks, the systemic rot that war has exposed in the very foundations of your nation's prosperity. Reports of black markets flourishing, currency speculators undermining the solari through illicit trading, and desperate citizens bartering for goods paint a grim picture of a society on the brink. Every number, every graph, every intelligence brief tells a story of impending collapse, a slow, agonizing economic death. You identify the key vulnerabilities: an over-reliance on a single export commodity, now inaccessible, outdated industrial infrastructure incapable of rapid conversion to war production, and a significant brain drain of skilled labor fleeing the conflict. But there's another layer. Whispers of a shadow cabinet emerge. Powerful oligarchs, once your nation's economic backbone, are now actively manipulating markets, hoarding resources, and even engaging in laundering through neutral proxies to profit from the chaos. General Markov, head of military intelligence, provides evidence of their activities, but warns that moving against them could destabilize the economy further. You are caught between a rock and a hard place. Fight the enemy without, or the traitors within. The debt-to-GDP ratio is spiraling towards 150%, a point of no return where default becomes inevitable. Dr. Sharma presents a grim forecast. Without immediate, drastic intervention, a currency peg collapse is imminent, leading to hyperinflation that would make the solari worthless. The economic war is not just about resources, it's about trust, and that trust is eroding rapidly. Part 4. The Choice. The choices are stark. each one a moral tightrope walk over an abyss. To fund the relentless war effort, you must implement draconian austerity measures. Do you cut pensions by 50%, knowing it will condemn hundreds of thousands of elderly citizens to destitution and potentially spark widespread protests? Do you nationalize the remaining private energy companies and critical infrastructure, risking international condemnation, capital flight, and accusations of authoritarianism, but securing vital power for your military and hospitals? The war bond issuance you proposed is met with outright rejection. The market is too volatile, trust too low, and the risk premium too high. Your advisors present conflicting strategies, each with catastrophic downsides. General Markov demands immediate, massive investment in advanced weaponry, arguing that military victory is the only path to economic recovery, regardless of the immediate cost. Dr. Sharma argues for prioritizing social welfare and basic services to prevent internal collapse, warning that a broken society cannot sustain a war. You face immense pressure from powerful internal political factions. The industrialists demanding massive subsidies and tax breaks, the labor unions threatening general strikes if wages aren't increased, and the regional governors pleading for aid to prevent their provinces from falling into anarchy. An intelligence report lands on your desk. A neutral neighboring country is willing to sell you critical rare earth minerals, essential for your advanced weaponry, but only if you agree to a highly unfavorable trade deal that would grant them long-term control over your strategic mining assets and cripple your domestic mining industry for decades. Do you sacrifice long-term economic independence for short-term military survival? The line between what is difficult and what is wrong blurs with every decision. You are forced to make choices that will define your legacy and perhaps doom your soul. You authorize the seizure of private gold reserves from wealthy citizens and institutions, a move that will be met with outrage and accusations of theft, but provides a desperately needed liquidity injection to stabilize the Solari. You impose a progressive luxury tax and a windfall profits tax on war profiteers, knowing it will alienate powerful elites and potentially drive them into the arms of the shadow cabinet. But it's a necessary measure to fund social programs and maintain public morale. The human cost of your decisions is laid bare. A single artillery shell costs more than a family's annual food budget, and every day of war adds another percentage point to the national poverty rate. You are signing death warrants, not with a pen, but with a ledger. Part 5. The unforeseen variable. Then, the unforeseen. A major allied nation, facing its own internal political and economic turmoil, announces it will not only significantly reduce its economic aid, but also impose secondary sanctions on your country due to alleged human rights violations, a thinly veiled excuse to distance themselves from a losing war. Simultaneously, a new, highly virulent strain of a global pandemic emerges, threatening to shut down international trade and supply chains entirely, making your clandestine routes obsolete. Your carefully constructed economic defenses, your shadow networks, your digital currency initiatives, all are suddenly vulnerable, teetering on the brink of collapse. Your intelligence agencies report widespread civil unrest in key industrial cities, fueled by food shortages, hyperinflation, and propaganda from the enemy. A major cyber attack, traced to a state-sponsored actor, cripples your national banking system, freezing assets, erasing records, and sowing widespread panic. This is the ultimate test of your resolve, a multi-front economic collapse scenario that threatens to unravel everything you've built. Do you capitulate, accept the terms of surrender, and allow your nation to be carved up by foreign powers, its resources plundered, its people subjugated? Or do you find a new, even more desperate path forward, risking everything for a chance at survival? You are presented with a choice: a negotiated peace that would see your nation lose significant territory and economic autonomy, or a desperate, all-in gamble on a new, unproven energy source that could either save your economy or bankrupt it entirely. The clock is ticking, and the world watches. Part 6. The Perpetual Cycle. The war continues. The economic battles never cease. You are back at your desk, the glow of the holographic displays illuminating the lines of fatigue etched on your face, deeper now, almost permanent. The market in Tokyo is about to open, and with it, new challenges, new threats, new impossible choices. The weight of the crown is heavier than ever, a crushing burden, yet you carry it.